Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from Group 9 and we are going to present about diphthongs and triphthongs. And these are our members: Dhion, Ratih, and Nadia. And these are our contents. First is diphthong. According to the Jojo, diphthong is a combination of two vowels belonging to the same syllable, and the emphasis should be on the first vowel. And according to Franklin V, diphthong is vowels are represented as a sequence of vocal symbols as the tongue and or lips move from one position to another. This is the diphthong figure. Diphthong has two types: center diphthong and closing diphthong. And types of diphthong: rising and falling diphthong. Diphthong where the second element is a syllable called rising diphthong. And a diphthong where the sound of the first element is louder than the second element is called falling diphthong. The next is closing diphthong.
Okay, my name is Ratih Pratiwi Asri. So I would like to tell you about the closing diphthong. This diphthong was initiated by 5 pure vowels, namely E and A. They glide or move towards two pure vocal hosting, namely IU, which happens to close the vocals. Next, after I tell you about the materials closing diphthong, I tell you about the example of closing diphthong. The first is EI. The example of the EI is the first is late and Kate day. Second is rain, file, and white. Third is eight, wait, and rain. And the last is great, break, and stick. And the second of the closing diphthong is ear. The first is so and of wood. Second is soap, road, and toast. The third is full, hoe, and toe. And the last is soul, dough, shoulder. Next, centering diphthong. A centering diphthong is one that begins with a more peripheral vowel and ends with a more central one, such as IE, ear, and UE. In received pronunciation, or IE and UE in iris. Many centering diphthongs are also opening diphthongs, like IE and UE. Based on Ramelan on 1994, page 95, centering diphthong is a diphthong in which there is a glide made from one vowel position to the position of the central vowel. And wrote on 2009, page 18, defines that centering diphthong is glide towards the air like square vowel. Next, here this is the example of centering diphthong. There are two examples. The first is IE. The first example of IE is dear, dear, here, and dear. The second is weird, fierce, and fakir. And the last is idea, land, museum, and theological. And the second of the example centering diphthong is air. The first is care, rare, and share. Second is water, fair, and pair. The third is beer, peer, wear, and tear. And the last is there, hair, there, and merry. Next. Here, this is the diphthong diagram according to by Ramlan on 1988. Next.
All right, next, I will tell you about the triphthong. My name is Dhion Fardhansyah, and Darjo Jojo in 2009 state sometimes we also have triphthong, which is a combination of three vowels and in one syllable. According to Roach in 2000, triphthong is the most complex, exclusive, and recognizable vocal type because they are all produced quickly and uninterrupted. Triphthong is made of 5 diphthongs with rated at the end. All right, first is O plus E. We can say O. To produce this triphthong sounds, first the lips must be slightly stretched and wide. The front of the tongue must be between the half open and half closed position to produce vowel E. After that, the tip of the tongue is behind the lower teeth and the middle of the tongue in the half closed position finally. To produce this vowel in its entirety, move the position of the tip of the tongue to the back of the lower tooth and position the tongue half open and half closed. Next is our plus E. If we combine, we can say our. To produce this triphthong sound, first the jaw must be opened, then the position of the tongue must be under the mouth and under the lower teeth. After that, the tip of the tongue is behind the lower teeth and the middle of the tongue in the half closed position. Finally, to produce this vowel in it anteriorly, move the position of the tip of the tongue to the back of the lower tooth and position the tongue half open and half closed. Next is U plus E. If we combine that, we can say U. To produce this triphthong sound, first the lip must be in a medium round position and the tongue raised between the half open and half closed position. After that, move the middle of the middle mouth nearer tongue in the half cap position. Then return the half open and half closed position with the tip of the tongue behind the bottom tip. Next is O plus E. If we combine that, we can say O. To produce this diphthong sounds, first of all, position of the tongue is in half open and closed half. After that, the center of the tongue is raised to half, closing in position that position and the lip sounds be in the round position. Finally, to produce this, the sound of the triphthong really move the tongue half open and half lip position. Again, and the tip of the tongue is behind the bottom tip. And the last one is our combined with a. You can say it, our. To produce this triphthong sound, first the jaw must be open, then the tongue is attached to the bottom of the mouth and under the lower tip. After that, the center of the tongue is raised between the half closed position and the lips sounds be round finally. To produce this triphthong sound in the entirety, move the position of the tongue half open and the half closed, and the tip of the tongue should be behind the lower tip.
Okay, that's the end of our presentation. Thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Nah.